On the video on demand front, one of the things we've identified is video demand is really where the significant volume of on-demand viewing is going on our platform today. And we've struggled historically with monetizing that because it doesn't work the way digital does. It's not measured the way that TV is outside the C3 window. So there's definitely some capabilities that we have to deliver to be able to do that. We have an initiative we launched last year with Nielsen called ODCR, which is going to pick up some of the measurement there. And we're continuing to work on ways to broaden the monetization so that ultimately all of that VOD viewing can be monetized in the same way that TV is today. So I think that's a big opportunity for us and for the programmers, is to ensure that there is consistent monetization capabilities across all the platforms, and VOD being sort of the big one we have to kind of bring up today. In terms of programmatic, so as we were talking about earlier, I think there's probably a misperception in how programmatic is going to be applied to TV. And if you look at how programmatic has existed historically, there's a lot of demand for a ton of inventory. And you've had to use some of these automation and some of these data-enabled capabilities to create value in that inventory just because there is so much of it. And in the TV world, there's a very different supply-demand dynamic. So you end up with something today like the Upfront, where the majority of TV dollars were spent in advance. And obviously there's been a lot of commentary around that recently, but that still tends to be the case, where you see a lot of the TV dollars committed well in advance of the media actually running. So if you think about how programmatic might work in that environment, it's not going to be real-time bidded, it's not going to be sort of a last-minute exchange type opportunity. I think you're going to see more structured sort of programmatic upfronts. And one example of that is something that Freewheel has launched and announced with ABC and Discovery, which they call the Forefronts. And basically that opportunity is to conduct an upfront using programmatic capabilities and data-enabled capabilities. So the advertisers get to bring their data and buy the inventory in that data-enabled fashion that they're used to for digital, but they get to do it in a way that the programmers are comfortable with, because it occurs in advance and they're able to consider that demand as part of a portfolio of demand, as opposed to sort of a one-off inquiry. So I think we're going to see more progression of programmatic in the TV ecosystem, sort of in that line of it's going to look more like an upfront, it's going to look more like an advanced negotiation with data, with automation, but it isn't going to go the way of display.